The use of AI is increasing rapidly in many different genres of creativity, such as art, music, etc. And I fear that it has gotten into rather questionable hands, and I came to talk about that today. We will be talking about the artist ylanast. I don't really know how to say it. Their account will be on the screen. I actually have a long history with this artist, not personally, but back in 2020, I would see their videos and I'd be like, that is so cool. And so I would attempt to create my artwork just how they do by doing no sketch and seeing if it worked. P.S. It never works because it's a lie. It's not real. It's AI.
Actor Eugene Levy.
What was that? Computer enhance. Girl has a brush that can draw hella colors at once.
That video by Rin perfectly sums up what this artist is doing. They are creating images out of AI, I believe, and then pretending to draw it by creating a layer on top and then erasing it to make it look like they're drawing when actually they're not. And today we have a little experiment, because I am going to, number one, first attempt to draw in the way that they say that they draw. Genuinely, I'm going to try and draw the same way. Then I'm going to show you what I theorize they may be doing. A common theme that I see from them a lot is Disney princesses, so I just searched Disney princess and just picked one. The way that they show their process in these videos, there is no sketch. They just go in and make shapes. So I'm going to do that here with a kind of blendy, oil painty brush. I will link the brush that I'm using down below if I can find it. It is a brush that I downloaded probably years ago, so I'll have to do some searching, but I'm sure I can find it. And the problem with this not having a sketch, and you don't necessarily have to have one if that's what works for you, but when you're trying to draw something accurately and you don't have a sketch, a lot of times things are going to be seriously proportionately off because you're not really getting the structure. You're kind of just going in and creating blobs with no real shape. Also, with this method, things can end up looking really muddy, which is why I am not like 99.999% sure that she's lying. This artist is lying. There's no way that you can draw like this and it look like that unless you are seriously refined. And I personally have not bought their course, but I highly doubt that they are seriously using this method to create their artworks, because a lot of it is unnecessary. Why would I draw the nose cavity like that if I'm just going to paint over it? It's kind of redundant and unnecessary. Here's where you start seeing that this drawing is dramatically proportionately off, and I go in to fix it with like digital tools that are in the Procreate apps, like the lasso tool and the liquify tool, but I could not save this drawing. It is so bad, and there's a point where I basically just give up, and I just can't, because her forehead's too big, her 3/4 profile looks so bad. Oh my god, I just had to give up. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, when when you look in these eyes, do you see a soul? Because I see not a soul in sight. Oh my God, it is so horrifying. At this point, I've pretty much given up. I don't even attempt on the hair. It's just so awful that I just call it quits. And this is the final results. As you can see, not very finished, not very good, and very scary. Now I wanted to get behind what I really think this artist is doing. So like I said, I went down and dirty, and I got ChatGPT Premium just for this video. And I am going to be testing out AI image generators to see if I can get an AI result that resembles this artist's artwork. The first image generator that I'm using is this one called Cartoonize Yourself, and I submitted in the picture of Belle, and I was having a little trouble getting it to AI generate, assuming because the image is already a cartoon, which is understandable. And so I tried this one out twice, but the second time I used a image from the live action Beauty and the Beast instead of the animated one. And what they gave me was not what I was looking for. Here's what it gave me, and clearly that is not the style that this artist draws in. So I went to look for a different image generator that may give me something that I am more closely looking for. So I submitted the image of Belle, the cartoon version, and I wanted to see what it gave me. And this is what it gave me. It's looking very, very anime, which also is not the style that this artist draws in. And so I decided to tweak my description, and I asked it to turn it into a realistic drawing instead of just a drawing, because I feel like that specification makes the whole difference. So as you can see, this is it, and I wanted to get into the reason why AI art is noticeable as AI art. So as you can see, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the style of this drawing. The mouth is very, very realistic, and the skin is very, very kind of not realistic. It looks like a drawing, but the mouth looks like it was stolen off of a real person. And as you zoom in to the lace is a whole disaster. It's a muddled mess, which is a big indicator that it is AI, because AI is very bad at making tiny little details. Let's talk about what I think they're doing. So I decided to take that AI image and I imported it into Procreate. And the first thing that I'm doing is I'm coloring over the skin. I'm just using the face as an example. I'm not going to dabble in the hair. I'm not going to dabble in the clothes. I'm just coloring over the skin with a shadow color, and I do add just the tiniest bit of depth. And literally, I'm just going to add the eye sockets, the nose cavity, and add some pink for the lips, and the rest is erasing. I'm just going to erase and pretend like that's me drawing. So I've edited this footage just to show you that even if you think that How can that be? How can they pretend to draw like this, but it looks like they're actually drawing it? You need to take into account the amount of editing that goes into this. There's a jump cut in this editing every 2 seconds. Now, I don't think that demonstration was necessarily the best because I don't do this, so I really just don't have the knowledge on how to hide it that well, because the more you do it and the longer you do this, the easier it's going to get to manipulate editing footage and manipulate your brushstrokes to make it look like you're drawing it when you're not. And for somebody who's never done that, it is really hard to make it look really seamless like how the artist does in their videos. But with practice, I'm sure you can make it look like there's really clean editing and it looks like you're actually drawing it. So what's the takeaway from this video? Well, the takeaway is that AI art is on the rise, and for now, it's pretty easy to tell when you're seeing an AI image versus a actual drawing. Mainly because a lot of AI doesn't really have consistency with it. So it's really easy to zoom in and be like, oh yeah, that's AI. In the future, I'm not sure it will be that easy, as AI will learn from human intelligence and slowly become better and better. But for right now, make sure you're aware of what content you're consuming. This artist has 2 million followers. There's people who avidly watch this content and they may not even know that it's AI. They might not know that. And basically, just be honest to your audience. If you're using AI, you're using AI. And don't try to hide it by doing all these jump cuts. And why are you going so far out of your way? You're bending yourself backwards to make it look like you're drawing when you could just tell people that it's AI and everything will be fixed. Nobody's gonna come for you. Nobody's gonna be like, oh my god. Some people will, but I feel like the general public won't care that much. The only reason why we care is because we can tell that it's AI and we can tell you're lying about it. As always, let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comments, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. This video was actually so fun for me to make because it took a lot of, experimenting. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.